Welcome to the Gray Zone, the podcast where certainty meets curiosity. In a world often divided by black and white, we dive into the murky middle, exploring the complexities and contradictions that define our lives. Each episode, we challenge conventional thinking, tackle tough questions, and unravel the intricate web of reality. Join us on this journey into the unknown, where every discussion opens new pathways to understanding. This is the Gray Zone, where the real conversations begin.
Gray Zone. I'm Bryce.
And I'm Ryan.
Ryan, ready to get into the gray?
Let's do it.
So let's go for it. So this is our very first episode. And this episode is about Juneteenth, the celebration or the commercialization of it. We're going to get into the gray areas about it. But before we get on the celebration or commercialization, we're going to give you a brief background on what Juneteenth is, when it started, and what does it mean, and how it came about. Ryan, you want to explain to the audience what it is and how, a little background on it?
Juneteenth came about with General Order Number 3 that started with General Francis Herring and was passed along to General Granger. Mm-hmm. Then it was passed to Major Emory, who finally delivered General Order Number 3, mm-hmm. enforcing the Emancipation Proclamation.
Correct.
And the slaves would have heard about the Emancipation Proclamation at that point. It had been 2.5 years since the Emancipation Proclamation had been published in Texas.
So it was Texas, the Houston Gazette, the Gazelle, the Echo. It was published all throughout Texas.
Right.
But the problem was, Ryan, a lot of slaves couldn't read, but
Definitely.
they could hear well.
Oh yeah.
So let me pick it back off of some of the things you said. If I'm not mistaken, it was Major General Francis Herring. He gave order to General Granger out of Louisiana. Then General Granger gave it to Major Emory.
Right.
And not just did they keep passing the buck on General Order Number 3. When they delivered the news to Galveston, Texas in June 19th, 1865, it only freed the slaves in the South.
Yes, that's
Confederate.
true.
It didn't apply to the slaves in the North in the Union.
Yeah, there were Union slaves in Delaware, Maryland,
Kentucky,
Missouri, and West Virginia.
Right, and that didn't come about. They didn't earn their freedom until, I think, December 1865 with the ratification of the 13th Amendment. Is that about right?
That's correct.
So we're just giving you a brief back history on Juneteenth. So even though we celebrate Juneteenth, it actually wasn't celebrated, honestly, until June 20th, because when Major Emory came to Galveston, he said there'll be no gatherings, no celebration until June 20th, because he wanted to prevent a riot of the slaves. So it's really, the first celebration came about on June 20th.
Right. So the good news arrived on that day, and also some bad news came with it. That was that the slaves were to remain in place and continue working for their masters on the plantation.
They had nowhere to go.
Right.
So that's a little back history of Juneteenth, and so we kind of led into some facts and myths, like facts or myths, I should say, that the Texas wasn't the last free state.
Right.
They had slaves, and like Ryan said, in Delaware, Kentucky, Missouri, several other states.
Oddly enough, there was some in some parishes of Louisiana as well.
Exactly.
It was under Union control.
Exactly. So, and it only applied to the Confederate states. It didn't apply to the Union. It was only the Confederate. So, that's a little background on it. So, Ryan and I are going to get into our topic of Juneteenth, celebration or commercialization, the gray area in it, and what we think about it, and what we saw at our Juneteenth celebration. So, Ryan, you want to lead off, or you want me to lead off into it?
First of all, I'd just like to remind everybody out there, be sure to click like and leave us your comments. We'd love to hear back from you.
And that subscribe button.
Oh, yes. So, as far as commercialization and celebration is concerned, what have you seen for the celebration and commercialization.
So I'll lead off with this first topic, I should say. Exploitation of cultural significance. So I went to Juneteenth yesterday in New Orleans, and I've seen a lot of unity. I've seen a lot of culture. I've seen a lot of diversity, but I've seen a lot of vendors. I've seen a lot of selling of merchandise, commercialization,
Right.
not just from corporate America, but from mom and pops as well.
Right.
So for me, I was happy, but also a little bit disappointed. I've seen a lot of alcohol booths, seen a lot of chicken booths, a lot of fish, everything fried. And I just think if it's Juneteenth, if it's a celebration of us, if our forefathers and foremothers sacrificed, died for this day, why not have it mean something other than a big party?
Right. Right.
Let it be a celebration of awareness. Didn't see any exhibits, and I'm not trying to bash Juneteenth. I'm just telling you what I saw at our celebration down here in New Orleans. So for me, the great Ryan would be, why couldn't we have any health clinics, free health screening, blood pressure checking, or any financial awareness, building your credit, exercise, mental health, free booths.
Right.
The audience was there. It was a full packed event, but the awareness wasn't there of our plight and how we get from point A to point B.
Right.
So that's what I seen. So I'll kick it back to you.
Well, I wasn't
What do you
able. I wasn't able to attend, but I understand that there was also some STEM booths.
I
as far
did
as-
see that. I did see the science, technology, engineering, math booth there. That was there for the kids. I seen a lot of kids participating. I seen that was very. I think that was a good thing.
Right. Right.
A lot of awareness about science and math. Why couldn't we have awareness about Black history?
That's a good
And
question.
once again, it is Juneteenth.
Yes, the height of Black history.
So I was a little bit, I don't want to say disappointed, but I thought it could have been, we could have had more educational exhibits, a speaker, a public speaker give the background of it, either passing out flyers of background of it versus just a celebration.
Right.
So our topic is celebration versus commercialization. So Ryan, give us some examples of you think of some companies like some corporate American companies that tried to exploit us, like Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart came out with the Juneteenth ice cream. That was interesting. Didn't go over very well.
Yeah, I think 2022.
Yeah.
And I think Amazon ran into some problems with it, didn't want to give paid holidays,
Right.
and it had some bad hiring practices for people of color.
Right.
But that's the bad. I'll share some of the good, too.
Right.
There are also some companies that celebrate Juneteenth and promote Juneteenth and give back about Juneteenth, like Nike, Ben and Jerry's. I know Ben and Jerry's did a collaboration with some artists, Black artists, to not to market the ice cream, but flavor for the flavor, the design and ideas on how can we best serve this community and give something back and put back into the community.
Yes, Ben and Jerry's is known for having a really socially conscious awareness
Yes.
about themselves.
Yes, Nike did. Nike was at the forefront of it with paid holidays, with cultural awareness for the employees. Nike, Adidas, Ben and Jerry's, and I think Target
Target.
are
Yes.
some companies I know.
You're right.
So from corporate America. So that is the good. But some of the bad came from, I gotta be honest, here's the great. From mom and pops. I don't want to use the word exploiting the venue, but it's like they was making the most of it from a financial standpoint.
Right.
And then a lot of them were using goods from overseas suppliers with poor child labor practices.
Right, right.
You know, it had the trinkets, the necklaces, the beads, the T-shirts, commercialization.
Right. Well, that's the American syndrome, American holiday syndrome. And how do we combat that? What can we start focusing on to offer?
First, I think, Ryan, this is me talking. I'm not trying to bash Juneteenth, but this is the Gray Zone podcast. So we dive into the gray areas of it, like not just the good, not just the bad, not the truth, not a lie, but the truth lies in the middle, the gray zone. So first thing, man, we have to have awareness. We have to be able to admit it. Hey, this is what's going on. These are the facts on the ground.
Right.
I don't know how Juneteenth celebration was in D.C., New York, Philly, Atlanta, L.A., New York. I don't know. I can only speak of New Orleans. From what I've seen, it is what it is. These are the exhibits, the videos that I've seen. So I feel like if we want to correct that, let's do another sponsorship next year. So maybe we can sponsor ourselves. Let's get some healthcare providers out there. Let's get some healthy food choices out there. Organic food. Organic farmers out there. When everyone comes into the venue, let's pass them out a background of what Juneteenth is.
Right.
It's not just a party like Mardi Gras or 4th of July or Christmas. How Christmas, Halloween, 4th of July has been commercialized.
Right.
Christmas used to be about Jesus. Now it's about how many gifts are underneath the Christmas tree.
Right, right.
Halloween, was that a made-up holiday? What are you celebrating other than trick or treat, give out candy, everybody dressed in costume?
Right.
So, but I just think, like I said, medical screening, financial advice, financial awareness, credit, fixing your credit, get some organic food out there, healthy food choices versus food desert. Like, these are all of the things that I think we could improve our celebration. Is what I've seen in New Orleans. I can't speak on other towns, the cities. So for me, that's my gray area in it. Like, we could do better.
Right.
Not to bash, but just what I've seen. And so the commercialization isn't just coming from corporate America.
Right.
It's coming from people that look just like you and I as well.
Right.
And we have to walk in that truth.
Yeah, gotta own it.
Yeah, like I'm gonna put up some pictures of the events, what I seen yesterday on this podcast. So for you to be able to see it yourself.
Right.
And I don't want to preach. I don't want to talk too much. So I'm gonna kick it to you, my co-host.
Right. Well, we talked about some of the negative impacts and some of the positive things that could be added. What kind of businesses? In what ways can we bring commercialization that without exploiting it for profit?
Community outreach, man. I just think community outreach. Community outreach, have people go into have representatives, community activists. I think that's how Barack Obama started off, right? Community activists. Have representation. Matter of fact, the best place for black people is the church.
Right.
Somebody in that church is a big wig at some corporators, Walmart, Target, Exxon, Shell. Somebody in your church is a executive at some plant or some entity, some business entity. So right there, somebody bringing up to the president or the vice president or the corporate manager, say, hey, how about you sponsor a outreach of healthcare, free healthcare? I'm sure doctors would volunteer for that. Hey, I'm sure we can get a lot of black doctors, people of color, who will come out and volunteer. But if we never ask, in an organized fashion.
We're talking to you, LCMC, and Ashna out there.
Yeah, I'm sure if one of us or someone of some significant community go to them, put together a package or a plan, I'm more than sure they'll be willing to volunteer their time.
Right.
For one, they get media exposure, to get exposure, free advertisement. They're doing the right thing. They're saving lives.
Right.
Because
literally.
Literally, everything I seen out, I shouldn't say everything. A lot of what I seen out there, unfortunately, gonna lead to diabetes, high blood pressure, poor living habits, alcohol, kidney problems.
Right.
And I'm not trying to bash it, but I'm just being honest about what I've seen and how we can improve it. And hence, this is the gray zone. You know, to where we explore the spectrums of reality beyond black and white.
Right. It's not all black and white.
It is definitely not. You want to add anything about, since this is our very first episode? Ryan and Bryce coming to you from New Orleans, Louisiana, the Gray Zone Podcast, established 2024. Hit that like and subscribe button. What do you think? Like community support, education initiative, recognition as a paid holiday, which Joe Biden signed into law, I think, 2021. Him and Kamala Harris.
Right.
You know, and I'm kind of summing up with this, Ryan. Juneteenth first started really June 20th, 1865. That's 160 some odd years, 159 years.
Right.
It took 159 years for us to get this holiday. No, not 159, because it started 2021. 157 years, 56 years for us to get this holiday.
Right.
A lot of people suffered, went through the ringer, molested, raped, mental abuse, physical abuse, forced to get freedom. I just think we could do better on Freedom Day. It's not just a cookout.
Right.
It should be some awareness of where you came from, the people who came before you, and where you're going, and how you can get there.
Yeah, the cookout in the community can be part of it, but
not just that.
We have to do more.
Not just a celebration to celebrate. I got a paid holiday,
Right.
but have the holiday have meaning.
Right.
Have it have purpose.
Right.
You know, your skin has perfect. Your melanin has perfect. Your name has perfect. Your roots have purpose. Let the holiday have purpose as well.
Right.
You know. So I think I done said a mouthful.
Right.
So I'll follow back to you. I don't, like I said, I don't want to preach.
Oh no, you're not preaching. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So basically,
corporate America and do the same, and mom and pop do the same as well.
Yeah.
But I ain't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead on.
No, I think that wraps it up pretty well.
Okay. Well, we're gonna close out on our first episode of the Gray Zone with our first topic being Juneteenth, celebration of commercialization. Saying, remember, and it isn't always black and white. There's a lot of gray in between.
See you next time on the Gray Zone.